Hello, welcome back to my channel, Bonsai Druid. I've been away a little bit waiting for my new camera to arrive. It got here, it looks awesome. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to turn it on or how to make it record. So, it's a sitting duck, and I have wasted hours of time today trying to get this to work and waiting for an adapter to show up and lots of fun stuff like that. So now I'm back with my regular camera to do this little video. I wanted to do an update on some of my trees from this summer, and so we'll take a look at those. Okay, I really wanted to revisit one of my favorite little trees because this is a wild tree that just showed up one day and has been growing with me for many years now, and I still managed to keep it really small. It's got this one big long crazy root that I left. I don't know if it'll help thicken the trunk, but the trunk's already fairly thick. I may have to go in here with a Dremel tool and clean this out a little bit more. But you can see how small the leaves are on this little elm. I like where the branches are for the time being. I'd like to get some more secondary branches along these branches. And it'll probably get repotted next year. I don't think I repotted this one this past year. So I'll probably repot it, give it fresh soil, clean all this algae away, decide whether or not I'm going to ever take this root off. But I was kind of hoping, as low as it is, either it'll create a feature or it will maybe thicken this trunk on this side. You can see it's got some damage back on this side that's scarring over nicely. But I kind of wanted to show them because of the nice little leaf size. And it's, for as sparse as it is, it's pretty well in proportion. I've got like a couple of little leaves that I'll take off, considering the time of the season. They don't really need that big leaf there. Or this one here. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Love this little guy. I could probably trim some of these branches back, but I don't even feel like I need to do that right now. It hasn't really done a whole lot of growing, so, which is fine because I've been so busy it's been hard to keep up. This here is one of two kojo-no-ma that I had, but this one is the only one that lived. Let's see. I had wired it just to create some turns and bends in the trunk, and I tried to make each outer bend where there was a shoot or a branch. Now, this tree seems to have some discoloration on its leaves, so I'm not sure if this is something, because I've never really had a cherry tree before, but you can see these brownish leaves. I don't know, somebody mentioned something once about some kind of a rust disease or something. So I'm tempted to just go through and take all these leaves off. Because whatever it is, it doesn't look good. And it might be blocking light from maybe getting to some of these other small, healthier leaves. Or this might spread and damage this whole tree, I'm not really sure. Because I don't know what's causing it. If it's sunburn, they're getting plenty of water. I don't know. Can you see that on that leaf? And this one had it. It's kind of hard to see it. I can't imagine this would just be from the wire, so something must be happening here to make all these leaves do this. think someone had mentioned something about some kind of a disease that cherry trees and a few other trees can get, and it kind of just becomes pervasive and takes over the tree if you don't get it off. So I don't know if that's what this is, but I'm trying to take off the leaves that... There's still buds on this. This is another tree of mine this year that, in spite of all the heat that we have had, none of these trees that I'm showing today had very much real growth on them. The next ones that I'm going to pull in after this video will be the pomegranate and the jabuticaba, which actually grew quite a lot. So that was nice. But these ones really seemed like I needed to get to them, so... Now see this branch here... Oops, I'm way low. This branch here is nice and green. Lots of greenness on this one. I didn't wire this one. I don't know if it's stress on this from wiring, heat from the sun, maybe making the wire hot and burning the tree. I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm going to take some more of these off because they all have blackened areas on them. And if it's not good, then I should get it off. Especially since this other branch seems to be doing just fine. I feel a little, not dusty, but like rough. It is also 80 degrees in my studio, and it is 9 o'clock at night. So it's very freaking hot in here. I wanted to keep those because that's on a bend. This one not so much. I'm going to take that one off. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to leave that one like that and see if any leaves grow back. If any of it spreads to this other branch over here, which looks healthy enough to me. So, except for this one here. Nope, whatever that was, brushed right off. So that's that kojo-no-ma cherry, which I had such high hopes for. And it seems like all the trees I end up having really high hopes for struggle or die. This one here is 2 river birch that I just kind of ended up with from a friend of mine who got them on an Arbor Day freebie, and I thought one was dead. I decided to plant these 2 together. A lot of times when I'll get trees, I'll get 2 and I'll keep them separate, so I feel like I can make sure that each one gets enough nourishment, isn't competing with the other one. But over the past few years, I've read and seen a variety of videos and other research that has been done with trees on mycelium and mycorrhiza and other ways that trees use to communicate with each other. Oftentimes, what does happen is I end up getting 2 trees, such as the cherry tree. One dies, one lives. I separated them. So with the river birch, I decided to put them both in the same pot. Maybe because this one seemed much healthier and stronger, and this one seemed on the verge of death, because when they got him for the Arbor Day situation, this one's roots were not actually in any water or anything, so it was rather dry. But keeping them together, they're both looking pretty healthy. The original stem of this one looks dead. I'm going to cut that off. But it has all this new growth that wasn't there at all. So maybe there is something to be said for allowing multiple trees to develop together, especially when they're in their developmental stage and maybe not ready to be planted into a show pot or something. Maybe grouping them allows them to communicate. It was one of the interests that I have currently in, instead of doing standalone trees, which is what I've pretty much always done, trying to do things like forests or groves or other groupings of trees. So this is the river birch. If I can get it all the way in the camera. It's pretty tall. I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. I just wanted to kind of bring it up. I don't think that I showed it off at all yet, except when I first got it. But seeing all of this growth, well, it looks pretty good. I mean, the leaves are a weird color, but I don't really know that much about river birch, to be honest with you. There's only a couple of leaves that I would maybe take off that are just in bad positions. Not sure if there's any purpose, since I'm just trying to keep it healthy. Let it grow. I may let this one, rather than taking off the tops, let it grow and have some vertical growth and help the trunk grow a little thicker. Since I'm not really sure what I will do with this or how I will design it. So it's just kind of being left to do its thing, grow, store energy, be ready for the fall and the winter. Some of these off, since there's already branches starting there. I'm only going to take this one back because, oh, should I? I don't think it's really shading out these lower branches. I don't want the lower branches shaded out. But some of these leaves don't need to be in here. They're too close. This one's got one little dead branch up here that can come off. Right here. And whenever I see some of these that are like, it's got a big leaf under here, but there's actually a little branch here, kind of rather have the little branch develop. So I will take those bigger leaves wherever I already see that there's a branch developing. And that big leaf can come away. Here. Here. This one. Yeah. I think that'll do for now for this river birch. Pair of them. Next up is my blueberry. This was going to be a clump or a multi-trunk. Some branches were left as sacrifice branches. That's if their tags are still attached to them. This one way up here was a sacrifice branch. I have to say I kind of like... This one didn't grow a whole lot, to be honest with you. But it held its own. There's some things that are growing in the wrong direction that I'll take out, like this one right here. It's growing right out the front. Don't need that. see. You can see where I wired this branch too, debating on leaving that as a sacrifice just to thicken right here. But if I take it away, I've still got a thick branch here. I feel like I could take this away. I don't know if it's really going to do anything. We'll hold on to it for a moment. This one may end up eventually being a sacrifice. You can see though that now it's got another branch that kind of comes in a little more. This heavier branch I can probably take off. So we come around. Frame a little better. I was really wishing my new camera was going to work, but here I am. So we've got a branch here. It's got a this one here's got a nice, not too big of a trunk or of a branch size. Then right above it is two things coming out. This one coming straight up. This one kind of arcing off to the side. Nothing I can do about this base, which might not even stay. I might end up having to cut all of that away. I don't think that this one growing inward is doing me any real good. I'm going to take it off here. There's a version. So I can see, open this up and see a little better. This branch here, with this gone, may end up getting wired over here. A little twist to it. And if we follow this branch, there's another one here. That could probably be used with a wire. So I will leave both of those at the moment, and then it ends in this other slightly lower branch. You see it right here. Trunk comes up. We've got this lower branch. This one comes up on the outside. This will probably be gone. And then this one has a branch that goes off to this side, and then slightly above that, this one, and then slightly towards the front, a forked branch. So I think this one definitely can come all the way off. It's not doing any good there. Moving around this back side, I think I have a section here that's not wired at all. Got a weed. This back section, there's a few different things going on. This comes forward a little bit and has a little more interest. This one's quite thick. And this one kind of overlaps that other one. So the overlapping one, we're going to take that off. I suppose I could cut it back to this leaf and see if I get something that grows out this way. Make a nice backside to this tree. And this one looks bulky. And take it off because this branch over here is nicer. Actually, it comes up this way. Now I'm taking this way back here. And this one is growing back inside the tree. We'll wait till we come around. I think this is like the last of the main trunks right here. It's going to branch low, branch to the back, a group here to the front. This one's further back, and I can cut it. Maybe back to here. It's a little too thick. I'm going to take this leaf off the top of the branch. That's not going to work either. Inside, outside. This one kind of grows up. This one kind of grows to the back. This one that's growing up, this branch is there and there. This one's got to fork this side and this side. Then we come to the sacrifice branch, which is this whole section right here. We'll just leave that for the moment. This one coming out of the bottom of that one, and this one over here. This is already my sacrifice branch, so I'm not sure what good this is going to do. I'm going to take that one away. And this one over here could be helpful to thicken this trunk. This one here. But I also don't want it to get too thick. Or if it did, I could then take off this whole side. That would leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 trunks instead of 6 trunks. But this one's very thick trunked, so I'm not sure I want to do that. We will leave the 2 sacrifice branches for the time being. It's looking a little raggedy, like some bug might have gotten to it, but it doesn't look like it has anything actually on it, like scale or anything like that, or white fly, or any of that fun stuff. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. This one would be gone. This one here would eventually be gone. I think that makes it kind of a nice grouping there of trunks with these 2 that I'm holding down gone. This one over here may be a little too far out, but I'll let it grow a little more and see what happens. So that is my blueberry. Next up is my elm grove. And this is the one where all of these elm trees in here were actually cuttings taken off of this old one. This little guy right here was the father of this, or mother, parent anyway, of all of these. And I wired some of them just again to give them some bend where I saw like a branch. I tried to make that the outward turn of a bend. It's just kind of growing. I did notice its leaf color is a bit lighter than the other. But they're not in exactly the same type of soil. Just trying to take a look and see. It grew quite a bit. It's not sure if I want to take it back. This one looks like the wire's biting in, so I'm gonna have to take that wire off. So I can see it. Yeah, right. Right down here, the wire's biting. Get that off before it does too much damage. Hard to see it. Uh-oh. Yeah, that one bit in. Oh well. It's one of my first experiments. Maybe it'll turn out to be gnarly looking in a few years. Just get that all the way off. Like cutting this tree. The wire's been on for a number of months, so hopefully it's mostly done its job, at least on the lower part of the trunk, in spite of the biting in. So, that one got bit in pretty bad right here and here. We'll see. See if it heals up some. I think I'm going to take this off for the time being. This. And you got a sheet of paper somewhere. So that's that one. This would be the next one. Kind of see it there. You see the wire. Looks like it's biting in a little bit lower down. Let's see here. This one. I think I will take this wire off down here at least. loose. Sometimes you gotta break them into little bitty bits. Don't do it too tight. That one not so bad. Let's see if I can get the curves that I was looking for in the first place on this one. This one I'm going to take off at this first leaf because I'm not sure if that's going to end up being a decent place for a branch. Take this one off. So that's one. That's now the second one. I'm going to take this tip back too, try to bring some back budding a little bit would be nice. This one, there's a bug on it. This spider. This one is a bit, it's got some low branches. I like that. It's got a branch right here, which I would have rather had this bend more this way. If I can, I will leave this wire on a little longer. And then maybe that way. Probably could leave these leaves all on, as late in the year as it is, but I don't know, I kind of just want to see what it'll look like. Get an idea. It's the first grove that I've put together myself, so I just kind of want to play around with it a little bit. This actually, on the back side, does look like it's biting in right here, so I am going to have to take this wire off too. Oh well, I'm glad I caught them when I did before they got really bad. Can always rewire. See, not really damage up here yet, so that's good. This wire is way too thick to try to, and hard. I think I might have used copper. It's too thick and hard to try to spare it. One of the guys that sold wire at Midwest Bonsai Expo in Glencoe used to, like, you could bring him your spare cut, like your excess wire, your cut wire, but you had to have it sorted. So, you know, probably make it easier for him to remelt it and reuse it. It's copper anyway. So, I do love these wire nippers. Worth it, I think. I like these a lot better than regular electrician wire nippers. These are much nicer. I think the end is more blunt and it's less likely to cut into a tree. Even if you're kind of ham-fisted like me. Okay, got that wire out. We got this tree over here. It's got a lot going on. It's got a branch over here. This one. We got some little bifurcated branches there, so I'm just going to take this one off here. Some small branches. This one's a little bigger, but it does have this growing up. There's a division there, so I'll take that there. I'll leave this one for now. I've got two leaders going on here, so one will need to become something else. Maybe this branch, if that one goes that way. This one could eventually get wired down that way. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it off a little bit anyway. That's there. And this one. I'm going to leave the top for now. I don't think this one was really biting in. Well, a little bit here at the very base. Maybe a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm on a roll. Just going to take all this wire off of this guy. And then if he needs to have it all redone, redo it all at a different state. Yep, bit in just a little bit, but not too much. In the long run, I don't think it'll matter. Well, lead. And I think I'll take off this upper part as well. It's pretty heavy duty wire for this size tree. So that's freedom. And I think I will cut this stuff off. And the last one with wire is this one here. It is bitten in down here, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the wire. Bit of damage there. I'm going to put some cut paste on that, a little glue. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what species of elm tree this is, but that's what makes it easy to just play around with. There's no money was spent to buy these. Just randomly landed in a pot and grew. And the cuttings I took from that led to this little grove. And it gives me something to play with and experiment with some of the things I see other people doing on the YouTube videos with their bonsai. This one's got quite a lot going on. Just gonna shorten this because I don't really need it to be getting too much thicker than the trunk. I want to keep things at a pace here. So we'll probably end up getting rewired again. So again, doesn't look like much. Definitely got a haircut. It's opened up more. I feel like I'm going to see a little more of what's going on with the trunks now again as we go into the late summer. And that's the elm. So I think we're going to cut it off there. I was able to do the 2 elms, the cherry, the 2 birch, and the blueberry. And next up, I think, is the pomegranate and jaboticaba for the next video. And I think the one after that I will be repotting a group of oak trees that I got that I'm pretty excited about. So until next time, thanks for joining me at Bonsai Druid, and I look forward to seeing what these trees are going to do in the next couple of months before we move into the next season. Thanks for being with me.